sure missing you. I'm sure missing you.
October 14th, 2024. We're on vacation. There's Sheila. Stephainie. Hello. Reba. Reba. Hello. There's Bill and Mike. You're on live. And here's our first stop on our vacation. Waterfalls. We're chasing waterfalls. These are the first set of waterfalls we're at. There's the falls from a different angle. There they are. All right. I failed to mention this is Grand Falls, excuse me. And this is outside of Joplin, off exit 6, a few miles down the highway I-44. So if you just type in Grand Falls, Missouri, you're outside of Joplin. It's a beautiful day for it. Come and look at it. And yeah, so we're excited. This is our first stop. Got the rest of the crew over there. Steffi and the gang. Hello. Oh yeah. And we are looking forward to having a good time here. So we'll see what goes on and move on from there. So, alright. We'll talk to you soon. Alright, we are at the home of Mickey Mantle childhood home when he was a child in Commerce, Oklahoma. So there's his old shed. Here's the barn. We're going to go inside. Can't go inside the house, unfortunately, but here's the inside of the barn. Not very big. But yeah, pretty cool. Mickey Mantle. Side view of Mickey Mantle's house. The back. I guess they ran out of paint. I don't know. Pile of brush. But very small home by today's standards for sure. And then here's the other side here. Oh yeah, I can say we've been to the childhood home of Mickey Mantle. All right, we are now at the Pryor Creek Bridge. And our RV would clear it.
Would it?
Yeah.
Barely.
Barely. But it would.
Where you got at?
It's 12,
12.6, I think.
12, 6, I think, or 12 something. So I said, nothing.
And there is the Chelsea, Oklahoma, home of Ralph Terry, Gene Autry, Admiral James Clark, Bob Wills, Clem McSpadden, Jesse Bartley, and Jerry Douglas.
So Gene Autry was discovered by Will Rogers. Gene Autry was discovered by Will Rogers.
There you go. There's the history.
What it says. Gene Autry, singer and movie star, discovered in Chelsea by Will Rogers in
Here we are, getting the grub out. Maybe. Don't know yet. I got the ladies getting their pics. Right? Everybody looks interested?
Yes, I saw that too. That comes up on my.
Well, here's from the bridge. It's pretty dry. There are some spots. Not running though. And we go over here on this side, and we've got the same. So, pretty dry through here. We're not sure what's up there, and I don't know if we're going to go exploring. I see cars, but not sure. So we might be looking, but I'm not 100%. Everybody, I think we're going to get some grub. I think, I'm not sure. Don't quote me. So, all right. Be back in a bit. Getting some grub here.
Got a knife tissue.
We've got all of our,
There
there we go.
I've got a knife.
Getting the grub.
I've got cucumbers.
Got goodies. Waiting to eat. Everybody,
Cucumbers and our,
here we go.
here's some.
We're not eating out all the time.
Randy, you want a sandwich or a wrap?
I'll have a sandwich. All right, here we go. Gonna eat some grub. All right, we're in Oklahoma, right outside Chelsea, is it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that. And there's the train. America. We're going for it today. Now we're heading to Will Rogers Museum up ahead. About 20-minute drive, so we're in the heart of America with my sugar doll. Hello.
Hello.
All right. We're at the Will Rogers Museum / Memorial.
Oh, well, that's what
Here
we
they
stretched
are.
our legs, right? We stretched our legs while we ate.
Yeah, we're going to be heading in here in just a minute. Check it out.
Yeah, so it's really
They're now inside the Will Rogers Museum.
Let me show you on this.
Getting ready to head in.
This is where we are. Going in this.
Inside the Will Rogers Museum. We just heard a lot of interesting things. Painting of young Will. They said in the introductory there, I didn't get it taped, that Will Rogers had over 200 saddles. Some are here, some are in California, and some are in storage. Yeah. Some paintings of Will by this man here, Charles Banks Wilson. And there's some sketches that Will used to draw. Alright, statue of Will Rogers, 1879 to 1935. So here is where Will Rogers and his family was buried. And we're gonna walk down here. We're waiting for Mike to the site here of Will Rogers, where he was buried with his family. He was killed in 1935 in a plane crash in Alaska. So he died at 56 years old. And there's his tribute. And there's his where he's buried. All right. And this here is the his family. So that's his son, his daughter, Will, sister, or I'm sorry, wife, excuse me, son who died 2 years old, and another son. We're back inside, checking out other pieces here. We're on our way to the Will Rogers Theater. Will Rogers for president. And we're inside the Will Rogers Theater, checking it out. We just watched a pretty cool video. So, Yeah. Here's those little saddles in the beginning.
This next catch, as far as I know, has never been
He
duplicated.
collected little saddles as
Rolls
well.
around faster than a running horse.
And he's got all different types of ropes.
From the opposite side. It takes a tremendous throw and perfect control. Not flashy. This is the most difficult of all of
There's
Will
the saddle.
Rogers' horses.
Another cool picture of Will. Yeah. Will for president. I already explained that. He was asked to run in 1928 and he said no, he'd take a cut and pay from the movies. So he didn't. One of his planes. He was also a really well-known pilot during the early days of aviation. Him and a man by the name of Wiley Post were going from Fairbanks, Alaska to Russia for a plane route, and the plane crashed and they were both killed. So, but he loved to fly, as well as horses and roping. Well, Will Rogers was a good person for the Navy. They made a submarine after him, the USS Will Rogers, nuclear submarine. Launched in 1967. And over here, they had a ship named after him from 1945. And it was decommissioned in 71. What do you know? We learned something new. All right, we're going into the. Okay. It's Boyhood Ranch. School days of Ropin' Willie. Claremore, Oklahoma, that's where we're at. And this is what it looked like in 1895. That's pretty cool. Cattle drive. Steer open. Ziegfeld Polly's. His first radio broadcast in 1922. These are all miniature. Family Man. Connecticut Yankee set. Leave trip to Nicaragua. In with 1931. And that's where his plane crashed. In 1935. In Alaska, off the coast of Alaska. The Will Rogers Media Center of the Will Rogers Memorial, dedicated November 4th, 1982. My birthday, my 12th birthday. That's pretty awesome. Coincidence? I don't think so. Still in the museum here looking around. Will Rogers, the writer. He wrote a weekly column for a number of newspaper outlets that was distributed nationally. And there he is. Here's the movie star set. Very neat. And Wild West Roper. This is Will Rogers' movie room. All of his pictures that he did.
Yeah, Joe Fox, and I did everything you wanted. That's great. That's fine. I'll see you later.
Radio. Broadcast from where he did radio.
Confront this country today is at least 7 million people are out of work. That's our only problem. There is no other one